I am in trouble. I have been held captive for almost 40 years, and as much as I try to escape my captor, the more it seems I'll be in captivity for the rest of my life. I have watched others try to escape and yet they got caught again. But there are those who manage to escape for good. I've heard their stories and I marvel at their bravery. My captor has killed hundreds of millions of people over the centuries, and I can feel him trying to kill me slowly. But surely, this can't be my fate. I can't die like this. I can't. And it came to pass in process of time that the king of Egypt died, and the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage. And they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of the bondage. And God heard their groaning, and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. If Pharaoh had just died, why were the people crying? Think about this carefully. Pharaoh was their captor and represented their bondage, pain, and suffering. He had just died, but instead of celebrating, the people were crying. Why? Earlier I said I had been in captivity for over 40 years. Do you know who my Pharaoh is? Sugar. Sugar is Pharaoh in my life and has kept me in bondage for over 40 years. I have tried in so many ways to escape, but Pharaoh catches me in no time. When I overcome biscuits, then chocolates take over. When I overcome chocolates, then juice takes over. When I overcome juice, then fresh fruits take over. When I overcome fresh fruits, then it's fizzy drinks. And before you know it, biscuits come again. The cycle goes on and on. I had COVID last December, and as I did my medicals, the doctor said to me that all your results show you are at the borderline of disease. He said, if you don't kill this sugar addiction, just expect diabetes, cancer, enlarged prostate, etc. The decision is now yours, he said to me. Good health or disease and sudden death. The decision is mine. This is more than a month after that hospital visit, and I have not been able to break the sugar addiction. Pharaoh is bent on killing me. Pharaoh died, and the children of Israel cried because another Pharaoh was crowned king immediately, and their sufferings continued. We all have Pharaoh in our lives in one way or the other. Anything that holds you captive is Pharaoh. Anything that has the potential to destroy you, and yet you are powerless to escape from it, is Pharaoh. It can be drugs, alcohol, smoking, sex, food, power, money, men, women, husband, wife, work, mobile devices, material possessions, religion, social media, etc. It can even be your government. Pharaoh is a powerful force of destruction, and yet we always love and welcome Pharaoh. We have a love-hate relationship with Pharaoh. We always believe we can get rid of Pharaoh when we want. One more day, we say to ourselves, I can stop at any time, I can leave at any time, we always say, but we are captives. The worst form of captivity is when everyone knows you're captive, but you don't know you're one. You can't see or understand what they are saying. This is why we stay in captivity for a long time, till Pharaoh finally destroys us. Many people have died in one form of bondage or another. They were never able to escape captivity all their lives. Some of you already know what pharaohs you have in your lives, and you may have also realized the government is also Pharaoh. As one bad government leaves, another will take its place. As Pharaoh Buhari prepares to leave, other pharaohs are in the wings, waiting to subject the people towards bondage and suffering. But how did the children of Israel escape Pharaoh? What did they do? Why did it take so long before they did what they did? It's very simple. they started crying to God for deliverance. Why did it take so long for them to cry to God? Let me show you the answer in the Bible. But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. The more Pharaoh Buhari dealt with us, the more it seems we were doing okay. The more Buhari taxed us, the more we thrived. Rice went up, we were okay. Beans went up, we were okay. Transportation went up, we were also okay. Kidnappings increased, we were okay. Killings increased, we were okay. High blood pressure went up, I was okay. Fatty liver increased, you were okay. Cholesterol increased, we were okay. But were they really okay? Are you really okay? Are we really okay? No, they weren't. You aren't okay, and we aren't okay. Let me tell you what was happening. Some people were doing okay, so as long as they were fine, the rest of Israel was fine. Some people are doing okay under Buhari, so as long as they can eat, pay rent, pay school fees, and go on vacation, this government is doing okay. As long as your liver is not complaining, your body is fine. As long as one part or the other is still functioning, you are fine. He only beat you once this week, so you are fine. What of the poor who are suffering? What of those who can't afford the increase in food, transportation, and utilities? What of the kidney that is already damaged? This is why we stay in captivity. The children of Israel cried to God when the hardship increased and everyone felt it. They all knew they were suffering, and so they cried to God, and He heard them. What is our situation today? Have we reached the point of collective suffering and collective prayers for deliverance? Have you reached your breaking point? Do we have to die before we call on God for help? Does diabetes have to set in before I ask the Master for deliverance? Pharaoh has to die today for good. God is still in the business of answering the cries of His people. Don't let Pharaoh destroy you before you call on God. Don't let a Pharaoh worse than Buhari to come before you call on God. I talked about my Pharaoh because I am crying for deliverance. We all need deliverance. Our nation needs deliverance. Our world needs deliverance. Let's start crying to God, who is the only one who can save us. Pharaoh must die. Pharaoh must die. God must